Hello, YouTube, and welcome to another episode of Hollow Knight, where, going by the title of the video, I can tell you what I'm going to do. So, I am going to get enough essence to upgrade my dream nail, and I am going to um, take on the White Palace. Now, the White Palace is probably one of the most difficult areas in Hollow Knight, but not for bosses, because it's not about the bosses. It's all about the platforming challenge, and it is a challenge. It is hard. I struggled quite a lot with it. I won't deny it. It was a struggle, a real struggle. But it was also really fun, and it's one of those parts of the games where you generally just you're in for the ride and you're in for the long haul, and it is fun. It is really fun. So I'm not gonna turn around and say that it wasn't, because it was. It was frustrating at times, but it was fun. It was really fun. So definitely something to strive towards. By the end of it, my hands really did hate me, though. I won't deny it. My hands absolutely hated going through the White Palace. But at the same time, it was just super fun. And, I'm here telling you that, yeah, that the platforming challenge, it Hollow Knight is a platformer. It is. It's a Metroidvania platformer, right? That's undeniable. But at the same time, it's not really that difficult, really. But as soon as you enter the White Palace, that's flipped on its head. That's where the platforming challenge of the game starts coming out, and it is just a league above the rest of the game. At that point, it's hard, it's challenging, and I wouldn't say you want more of it, but it's definitely a huge leap in skill level. And I struggled. I won't deny it. I definitely struggled. But at the same time, it was super fun. I won't deny it. It was really fun. But that didn't mean it was easy. Oh, I really did struggle a lot, and it's something to definitely keep in mind, because when you're watching this video, you will see me mess up quite a lot. And I mean a lot. I really do. It's not easy. I'm just making you guys aware of that before I was like, I'm not going to do it all in one go. No, it doesn't happen like that, unfortunately for me. Uh, just doesn't. It just doesn't. What I will say is, it's probably, when it comes to platforming, the most fun and challenging out of all of them. I still don't know how I did it. I went into this thinking, oh, it'll be all right. It was a struggle. It really was. All right, but at the same time, it's just something that you got to get used to. And I mean, really get used to, because it wasn't easy. It really wasn't. I know I said it's multiple times now, but it was such a struggle. Right, just because I know where we're going and I know what exactly I'm doing. I'm after essences. I'm going to make sure that yawning. I'm going to make sure that I fill up this commentary with something to talk to. Pardon me, talk about. And I think talking about platformers would actually be a very ample subject. So I know I've touched on like 3D platformers and 2D platformers previously, but I generally wanted to go through some that I like, some that I'm not too fond of, and then others which I think need to be played. So I'll start with the games from my childhood. Have talked about Crash Bandicoot. I've talked about Spyro the Dragon. They are platformers. They are very, very fun. Crash is very linear. Spyro a little bit more open, but still very linear in its progression. Both really fun, simple mechanics, to the point. That's good. Really, really good. An unsung gem from that era is, for me, is Croc. Like Croc and Croc 2. Fantastic games. I still prefer Croc 2 to Croc 1. I think it's got a lot more charm and personality to it. I actually like the designs of the Gobbos more, because the Gobbos literally just look like fuzzballs in the first one, which I wasn't really that keen on. But in number 2, just looked so much better. They really did. Trying to think now. Croc 2, just, it felt a more fuller game for me, which is what I particularly like in my games. It was definitely more fun, put it that way. Just trying to think now. Other platformers of that time. Jersey Devil is another one that I really, really enjoyed. Uh, that's a bit more of a niche one. It's a 3D platformer, level based, more in the vein similar to Spyro the Dragon, where you got hub worlds, so to say, and that it was very hard to control. I struggled playing that game. It was fun. Never finished it. It was it was really, really hard, and that's another one that I definitely think people should at least give a go. Just because you get to see like how platformers, how clunky they could be, which is good to know. I'm trying to think now. Any others from that time? You got Donkey Kong World, Country. Sorry, I think there's World now as well. That was a fun game. That was a fun little game. As if you can see now, on in the video, I'm now fighting the Collector. Now the Collector's this weird creature. Very weird creature. Like, he likes collecting things. Sounds like a maniac, and he just bounces around. He uses other enemies to attack you. Very interesting little boss. Not hard, but very weird and interesting. And he likes to jump up into the ceiling, just like how Nosk does. Nosk is going to be a boss later down the line. Back to the point, Donkey Kong Country. It was fun. I enjoyed that. Didn't play much of it because I didn't really own a Nintendo 64, but it was fun. Um, Super Mario 64. Right, I've played it. I am unfortunately, I me and Super Mario games do not gel. I know it's unheard of, but for me, it just, I can't gel with them. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. Me and Mario games do not get on, and I can't explain it. I'm very terrible at explaining it. I just don't find them fun at all. I gave them a good go though. Gave them a really good go. It's just unfortunately they're not for me, which is a shame because I wanted to like them. I even wanted to like the 2D ones and didn't get into them either, which is, like I said, it's such a shame because I understand the appeal. I really do. But for some reason, the controls, me and the controls do not get on. Really don't. Trying to think what else now. Um, think. Um, Rayman. Now, Rayman 1 was one of the few games as a kid that I could have bragging rights on. I finished Rayman 1 and it was hard. I finished that as a kid. I still don't remember or know how I did it, but I did it. It was it wasn't easy. Even as a kid, I knew it was hard, but I kept trying. I really kept trying. It was just really, really, really difficult. I don't know how I did it. I don't know how I pulled that off. And if I played the game now, I probably wouldn't be able to do it. So that's probably something that I won't be doing. However, Rayman 2. Oh, I have so many good memories of Rayman 2. I loved that game as a kid. It was so fun. So good. I just, because I played it on the PlayStation 2 and the Dreamcast version. I liked the Dreamcast version more than I liked the PlayStation version, which at the time I didn't understand why, but now I do. The Dreamcast version felt like it had more to do in it, which is what you want from a game. You want more content. You want more to play. The PlayStation version didn't really have that, which is very annoying that it was done like that and gutting at the same time because the the PlayStation was the go-to console, so you would think that the PlayStation would have the better version of the game, but it doesn't, which I still find really really odd. I can't explain it. I couldn't explain it as a kid, and even now I'm thinking back. I was like, why did they do that? Why did they not play into this a bit more? I don't know. It's a funny one. Definitely something to worth remembering though. But the Dreamcast version was pretty good. The Dreamcast version was amazing to play, and I will stand by that. I really will. Definitely worth picking up. Um, I had so much fun with the game. I loved the setting of it. I liked the enemies. I loved the robot pirates. I thought they were cool. Razorbeard, I hated him as a main villain, which is what you want, and it was just fun, which is exactly what you want. You want it to be fun. Just trying to think now. I only played a little bit of Rayman 3 and didn't play much of it unfortunately because I didn't own the game. I borrowed it from a friend and I borrowed it for a couple of days and he wanted it back very quickly because he said, "Oh, I haven't actually finished the game. Can I have it back?" And like, yeah, fine, yeah, you can have it back. I'll get it for you. So I never finished it, unfortunately. So I have no idea what was in store for me in Rayman 3. That might be something I look into later down the line and actually be like, right, I want to do the Rayman games and go through 2 and 3. I I will not play Rayman 1 again. That game's way too hard, way too difficult. I don't want to put myself through that again because I know I won't be able to do it now as an adult. I know I won't. It's too hard, way too hard for me. But at the same time, it's still worth giving a go. You know, it is still worth having that moment. Um, if you ever want to play the first Rayman game, there is now a better version that is fan made. That might that is worth picking up called Rayman Redemption. Um, I believe it's called Rayman Redemption anyway. Like that is the version you want to pick up. that is the version that you want to play. It's probably better in every sense of the word than the first one because the first one's unforgiving. But the fan made version is, I wouldn't say it's too forgiving. It's definitely a challenge still, but definitely much more fun. I think it's much more fun anyway. So if I do the Rayman games, it will probably be Rayman Redemption. But even then, I'd rather just get stuck into straight to Rayman 2 because I think that's just a much better game. I think it's a much better game anyway. So going back to the Hollow Knight video, you can easily tell that I am just trying to get as much geo, get as many of those essences as possible. I'm trying to find them in any way I can. And as you can see, I'm doing dream nailed one of the essence trees, and I'm literally like, right, where did they go? I need to find those last two, and they were right there above me. So that's literally what I'm going for at the moment, trying to find the essences, and I won't stay on it. I won't keep on about that for too long because I'd rather talk about platformers in general because that's what's going to happen in this video. So, I've talked about Croc 2, Rayman 2, Rayman 3. Um, I know there's Bubsy 3D. Never played it. Never played the original either. So, I can't answer anything about Bubsy because I haven't got a clue. I honestly haven't got a clue. And I don't think it's fair for me to talk about games that I've not played. I can't give you a factual opinion about the game without experiencing it myself, and I can't do that. I cannot do that if I've not played it, so I won't bother. Um, trying to think now, were there any others? I mean, Zelda in a way technically is classed as a platformer, so I'll talk about Zelda games, I guess. I've never played any 3D Zelda games. I don't know why. They just don't really appeal to me, except Majora's Mask. Played Majora's Mask out of friends. I didn't own the game because I didn't own the Nintendo console for it, so I never really um, played it that well. Oh, just a quick segue. Found another uh, Ghost Dream boss to fight. I actually thought this guy was a little bit more difficult just because of the little long range attacks he's got and having to avoid them whilst avoiding his shield and then whatnot. I thought he was one of the harder ones. wasn't He wasn't too hard, but he was a bit harder than normal. Back to what I was talking about. Yeah, never really played 3D Zelda games other than Majora's Mask. I did enjoy Majora's Mask, so in theory I should enjoy all the others, but I just couldn't gel with some of them. However, Zelda games, Link's Awakening, the remake and the original, is probably one of my favourite 2D Zelda games. I remember playing Story of Seasons, I think it was. I thought that was really, really good. And I also remember very vividly the Minish Cap on the Game Boy Advance. Now, the Minish Cap was. I played the Minish Cap for I think it was a month straight, and I loved it. I thought it was a really, really good one. I thought it was a really, really good game to play, and I would be on that ages trying to. I was trying to do all of the um, brain, trying to do all of the what they call now, the little glyphs that you have to put together with the inhabitants of Hyrule. Putting them together, I tried so hard to find all of them and do them, and I still don't know where they all are. I don't even remember if I finished it all or not. I don't know. So yeah, the Minish Cap was a fun game. Definitely recommend it. Definitely one of my go-to Game Boy Advance games. And I'm trying to think of other platformers now. I'm trying to think of big ones. Um, Definitely remember playing the remake version of Super Mario 64, the one that was on the Nintendo DS. Really enjoyed that. I actually preferred that to the original. I really, really do. Think what else now? I'm trying to remember quite a lot of them. But when it comes to platformers, my head is going completely blank right now. I might as well talk about some new platformers. Ukulele. Ukulele and in the Impossible Lair. Ukulele, brilliant game. I actually really, really enjoyed Ukulele quite a lot. I thought Ukulele was a fantastic game. Nice little bit of slapstick humour. I know it's made by the creators of Banjo Kazooie. I can't comment on Banjo Kazooie because that's another game that I never played. Um, might play it in the future because I do like my platformer, so that might be something I do in the future. Can't guarantee that. Um, but yeah, ukulele, super fun game. Would definitely recommend people play it. And if you're not too sure on 3D platforming, there's ukulele in and the Impossible Lair. I personally like that one more than the original ukulele. I actually think the 2D platforming of the Impossible Lair is actually really, really good. Really recommend that. Um, I'm running out of things to talk about when it comes to platformers. Another one, which is a bit of a hidden gem, as I would call it, is definitely Fur Fighters. I consider that a shooter, but it's definitely got a lot of platforming elements, loads of it. It combines it combines a shooter with Spyro the Dragon in a way. It's super fun, super fun. That is a game I'm definitely playing on the channel in the future because people need to know about that game. It's so fun, and I think it would benefit from people playing that game. I really do. To, it shows people that look, there are really, really good games, really good IPs from the past that people just aren't touching. Pay attention to these because, if we didn't have YouTube as a medium, if we didn't have people that have physical copies of games, these these could be lost. Like Fur Fighters is, for a software, is probably long gone by now. And there's not a lot of people that I know personally that know of the game. I think I've talked to out of all of my friends and all of my acquaintances, there's literally only two other people. And the amount of people that I know it's in the thousands, and it's only two people have played the game. That's wild to me. That is wild. But definitely a game I think people should at least give a go. Even if they don't like it, just give it a quick go, you know, because it is good for what it is. Now, when it comes to platformers, I'm running out of platformers to think about. I'm not going to deny it. I'm running out of platformers to talk about. And I'm here thinking to myself, I don't really remember where they are. So there's a lot in this. There's a lot that I could look into, but I just don't remember where things are. Uh, Thinking now, platformers. I don't remember seeing many platformers on the PlayStation 3. I don't remember seeing many. I mean, I suppose Mirror's Edge is a platformer in a way, but it's all platformer, all of it. It's not something I particularly go for, but it's a step in a different direction, which is cool. I like that. Trying to think now. Right, back to the PS2. Jak and Daxter. I thought Jak and Daxter was a fantastic little game. Uh, didn't really play Jak 2 much, and that's only down to mainly me just not knowing if I didn't know Jak 2 existed until much later in my life, so I can't really comment on it because I don't know. You know, I really don't know. Uh, and then there's Jak 3. Never played it. That's another series that I never played. Um, hmm. I'm just trying to think now. Were there any others? Because Naughty Dog made quite a lot. I just don't remember them very well, unfortunately. Uh, hmm. No, I'm coming up on blank on platformers now, so I will change topic. I'll talk about the Hollow Knight video again. Right, so I've got myself into the White Palace, got enough essence, and I dream nailed the guard in the Ancient Basin, and the White Palace is sort of like a dreamscape. All right, that's where it resides now. Other than that, it is gone. It doesn't reside anywhere else anymore. So it's one of those things where you just have to like understand that a lot of the lore in Hollow Knight is essentially hidden. You just have to understand that's just how it is. You know, it's just how it is, unfortunately. So you get little bits of lore, as long as you're paying attention, anyway. But if you're not, I wouldn't worry about it. The lore is basically saying the king is now here. He's taken the palace to here. He has tried to create. He created the Hollow Knights. Yes, knights. The only one succeeded and became the Hollow Knight. The rest were just vessels of the void because he needed a hollow uh, being void of emotion and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, there is a reason why the Hollow Knight in a way is the way they are. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. Like the lore can is missable. That you can just miss it. It is where it is. You know, I wouldn't worry about it too much. But at the same time, ooh, nice. But at the same time, I would definitely pay attention to your surroundings when it comes to Hollow Knight because there's a lot of it hidden, you know, because it just is. I'm trying to think of other things to talk about, but I'm running out of things now. Um, let's talk about a different genre of game then. Let's talk about. Ooh. Let's talk about RPGs. Okay? RPGs. I love my RPGs. I've been playing them since as long as I can remember. One of the first ever games that I ever played was Final Fantasy VIII. And yeah, it's, you know. Sorry, I just dropped something. Yeah, I played Final Fantasy VIII. Um, first ever, pretty much other than Crash Bandicoot 1, it was the first ever PlayStation game I ever played. It was alright, you know. I can play the game now and still really enjoy it to this day. It's, it's also a game that I do keep on going back to. So I keep dropping things today. Uh, yeah. Mm-mm-mm. Thinking. So yeah. Whereas a lot of people, remember fondly of Final Fantasy VII, for example, uh, I re- I remembered more fondly uh, Final Fantasy VIII. Don't get me wrong, I really do enjoy Final Fantasy VII, um, but uh, it's never my go-to. I'm not. I never really like go for it, and a lot of people say, "Oh, why? It's one of the best games ever." It's like I don't know. There's something about it that I can't really get my head around. You know, I like nine more than I like seven. There, I said it. I like eight more than all of them. Then I like nine. Then I like 10. I even like six, five, and three. Uh, Unfortunately, never really played four. I should. Um, just trying to think now. I played number one. I've played number two. Um, I thought they were alright. I wasn't really too sold on them. And just trying to think now how to explain it. I liked 12 to a degree. Uh, I got to a point where I liked every other character other than the main character. Now, you know, it's definitely something where I do. It's got likable characters, but I really don't care for Vaughn. I really don't care for Panana. I'd rather play as Balthier, Ash, Bosch, any of the other characters. Fran, don't forget Fran. And yeah, Vaughn as a main character is not a very good main character. And It's there are so many better main characters could be. Balthier was pretty much main character for me. Bosch was more of a main character for me. Ash was also a main character for me. You know, there was so all of the other characters, bar Pinello, were better than Vaughn. Pinello, I thought was even worse than Vaughn. You know, I'll say it. I generally thought he was much worse, which is such a shame. And Final Fantasy 13. Um, just trying to find a way to explain Final Fantasy 13. Uh, I didn't think it was too bad. I actually, to a degree, same as 12, enjoyed the game, but the game could have been better. Like it felt like it was missing a lot of stuff. 13 Part 2, 13.2, I actually thought was the much better game. Uh, I played 2 hours of Lightning Returns and decided never to play it again. I really didn't enjoy Lightning Returns. I thought Lightning Returns was terrible. I really did, which is such a shame because that's the ending. That was the ending of the series. So, unfortunately, didn't really care that much about it. I'm trying to think. Final Fantasy 14, which is the online one, including Realm Reborn, never played them. Well, no, tell a lie. Realm Reborn. I've played a good couple of. I've played a free week of it. It's not for me. It's unfortunately not for me, and I will. I will stand by that. I really will. 15. Unfortunately, I was looking forward to that so much. I was really looking forward to Final Fantasy 15, and I ended up being really disappointed with it because I was keeping up to date with it because I was excited because back when it was called Final Fantasy Versus 13, I thought it was such a cool concept. I liked the idea of it. I was really looking forward to it, and then nah. Square Enix just basically like slaughtered the game to me, and I will still remember that, and I won't forgive them for it. So I'm very wary when I buy anything from Square now. Final Fantasy 16, step in the right direction. Really enjoyed it because I see what they're going for now. I know what their vision is, but at the same time, there's only so much I can handle the combat system in that game before I get really bored. I think. Oh, sorry. Yawn. I think when it got down to it, I got near. I was near the end of the game where I decided I cannot be asked to input all of these manually anymore. I am putting on that. There's like an item, equipment that you can put on, which does all the combos for you just by you pressing the button. I got to that point where I was like, I can't be asked anymore. I'm just going to do this, and this is how I'm going to do it. So yeah, that's how it ended up for me with Final Fantasy 16. Don't get me wrong, I still really enjoyed the game. I really did. I thought the game was fantastic. However, near the end, I got a bit bored and was like, yeah, I'm just going to button mash this now. I don't really care. I want to get through this now. I feel like I'm trudging along. Well, I still had. Sorry, I'm yawning again. Shows how tired I am. But I still enjoyed the game. I still enjoyed the game a lot. Um, definitely a step in the right direction. I am going to look at the DLC for it at some point and do that. So that's definitely something on my radar to do. Okay, I've talked about Final Fantasy quite a bit. Let's talk about something else. Um, RPGs. I'm a big Wild Arms fan. I loved Wild Arms. My original copy of Wild Arms 1 is still sealed. I actually, when I played the game, I played like a pirated, torrented version of Wild Arms 1. And that was the game that I played. I didn't play any of the other versions, which I probably should have. You know, I probably should have, but I didn't. But I've still got my copy of Wild Arms somewhere. It's around. I don't exactly remember whereabouts it is, but it's somewhere. And yeah, Wild Arms 2, we never got over here in the UK. And I think some Europe as well. I don't think Europe got it either. So I never played Wild Arms 2 until. What year are we in? 2023? Yeah. Until earlier this year, where Sony made Wild Arms 2 available to us on the PS5. And I saw that, I took my chance, I went, yes, I am now playing this game for the first time. And it's really fun. I actually really like Wild Arms 2. I think it's a cracking game. Still need to finish it. I'm still getting my head around the story. The plot is a bit very wacky compared to the first one. It's a pretty good game though. Wild Arms 3 is probably my favourite one out of the entire lot. I think Wild Arms 3 is a really, really good game. I like all of the characters in the game, even the bad guys. Like Janus Cascade as an antagonist, I loved him. He is such a good bad guy. Such a good bad guy. You hate him, but at the same time, it's like, ooh, I can't help but like you, and I love it. I think he's great. Wild Arms 4, good game. Big change to the battle system, but it was a good game nonetheless. Uh, I never played Wild Arms 5, so I can't comment on that one. I have been searching for a cheap copy of that to get in my collection, but yeah, I don't think I'm going to get that chance. The game is super expensive at the moment online, and I am not willing to pay those prices. Not at the moment, anyway. Um, Shadow Hearts. I played. I didn't. I never played the original Shadow Hearts. I didn't play Kudelka, which is the predecessor to Shadow Hearts. Oh, didn't play that one. Them two. I did play Shadow Hearts Covenant, which is the second one. I thought that was pretty good. A bit different. Nice and dark. It's refreshing when you've got an RPG that's really, really dark, because half the time most of them are quite light-hearted. It's kind of refreshing. Shadow Hearts 3 from the New World. I really, really enjoyed that one personally. However, I know a lot of people on the internet don't like that one whatsoever. I think it's alright. I think it's a good little game, but I know a lot of people don't like that game at all, which is such a shame. I thought it was alright. I thought the transformations were really, really boss in that one, because it's not really you who transforms that much. The main character, it's one of your other party members. I thought it was kind of cool. Trying to think now. Um, Main reason I talked about Wild Arms and Shadow Hearts is because we're getting spiritual successors to them, called Armed Fantasia and Penny Blood, respectively. So that's something to look forward to. Suikoden games. Going talking about remakes. I only played Suikoden 4. I never played any of the other Suikoden games, but I know a lot of people rate them very highly. Um, so we'll see what happens with them because we're both getting remakes of Suikoden 1 and 2, as well as a spiritual successor called Yuden Chronicles, which I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be really, really good. Other RPGs that I really, really enjoy. Brain, come on. Dragon Quest. Okay, so Dragon Quest 3 is probably my all time favorite Dragon Quest. Um, Followed by Dragon Quest 8, Journey of the Cursed King. I thought Journey of the Cursed King was a step in the right direction. I thought it was a good game. Very, very solid. Loved the story. I actually like the voice acting in the game as well. I know it can't be British, but it's still fun. And I like the fact that it's not taking itself too seriously as well. It is refreshing in a way. But the serious parts are serious. So, you know, it's one of them. Um, so I've talked about Final Fantasy. I've talked about. Well, no, I'm so hot. I've talked about Dragon Quest. Dragon Quest is the one series that I've only played sporadic games of the series. I've played 11, I've played 3, I've played 8, I've played 9 and 7. That's about it, really. Um, all good games, all pretty solid, straightforward. Um, think, brain. Okay, let's talk about Persona. So I love the Persona games. Uh, I started with 4, played 3, played 5, played 2, played 1, played both the games for 2, and then we got a remake of Innocent Sin over here where I had to play a cracked translated copy of Innocent Sin before, which was I loved the fact that I could do that. Um, what else? What else am I missing here? Um, Trying to think now. SMT games in general, I've got a collection. I've got a growing collection of them now. So I've got SMT Devil Survivor 1, Devil Survivor 2, the remake versions of the games, which is Overclocked and Record Breaker. I've got Digital Devil Saga 1, Digital Devil Saga 2, SMT 3 Nocturne, but as Lucifer's Call, and then like the remastered version that got released onto. I got the Switch version of it because I thought the Switch version would be nice to have. Um, I got SMT4 and 4 Apocalypse on my 3DS. I got the original Strange Journey on DS along with the Redux version of it, the remake version of it on the 3DS. I've got Devil Summoner Raido Kuzuhano 1 and 2, versus Soulless Army, and what's the last? What's the other one? I can't remember the name of the other one. That's gonna do my head in now. I've got Soul Hackers 2, remake the remake version of Soul Hackers. I do not have a Sega Saturn to play the original Soul Hackers, unfortunately. So that's what I've got to play it on. I've got SMT5 on the Switch. I've got a copy of SMT2 for the PlayStation. I won't play that game. That is staying sealed for collector's reasons. I've got a lot of the SMT and Persona soundtracks. I'm a huge SMT fan. I came across them randomly, and I'm glad I did. They're fun. They are pretty cool in their lore. Like the lore is really, really interesting, especially when it's got something to do with mythology. I'm a sucker for mythology. Always have been, always will. And what else? Um, just trying to think now. My collection of SMT stuff is always going to grow. I've become a huge Atlas fan because of Persona, and I'm one of the few people that's like Atlas. I've yet to make a game I dislike, like actually dislike. You know, they've made games where I've tried them out and I'm not a big fan of them and how they play, but I won't hate the game. I was like, well, it's not my cup of tea. That's about it. You know, it's not my preferred way of playing the game. But I will say that it's super fun, and I will vouch for Atlas all the time. Right, that is the end of the video. So I'm just gonna say thank you for watching this episode and my tangent, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye bye.